writing, and then when they come back to school, there is always the beginning of term exams. So it can help them to excel. Thank you, sir.
Mbabazi Shifra is an education consultant, and we're talking to her this morning. She has given us her views on homework. But Shifra, many will say the kids are in school for a longer time than they are at home, and they study for all this time. This is a time for them to go home, relax, bond with their family, relax their minds. Why are you stressing them again with more work?
Thank you, sir. I don't call it stressing if really the people at home can timetable this child and say from 8 to, let's say, 10, you are doing homework. Then after that time, then a child can do other things, can play, can visit friends. It's all about timetabling, and also the parents should have attitude. Then I also have advice to we the teachers. We should not give too much work. If it becomes too much, children will even hate it. They will not have the appetite to do it. Give reasonable work. If it is this homework during school days, you can give only 10 numbers if you are giving a P7 child. Then 5 numbers if you are giving P1 to P4, so that the children also get appetite to do the work. Yeah.
You cut me short there by saying numbers, because I remember when I was in primary school, I used to go home with 100 numbers, and that is just math. And then you have to go through all the other subjects. It becomes a bit too much stressful. But thank you very much, Shifra, for that view. But lastly, before I talk to my friends here, the parents at home, they are struggling. You know, we studied in different times. You people are setting homework and making us parents look like we didn't study at all. The kids are asking you questions, you can't answer them.
Thank you, sir. Still, this will go back to the teacher. You know, there are some teachers, they set even what they have not yet taught. You set what you know you have taught your children. At least if a child can't remember that answer, let him open his classwork book and find the answers there. But again, if you begin setting ahead of them, you are now testing the parent, not your child.
Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to talk to the kids in here, and we're going to find out from them their view on homework. I'm not going to be. This young man is a scout. You're a scout, yeah?
Yes.
I can see. I used to wear this when I was in primary school. I'm going to get to you after. Let me start with these ones on the street, on swinging here. I don't even know what this is. For us when we were studying, these things were not there. We used to go up a hill and just go down on something. How are you?
Fine.
What's your name?
Elijah Natoloka.
Elijah, what class are you?
P4 Annex.
Annex?
Yes.
P4. Do you love homework?
Yes.
Don't lie. Elijah, you don't like homework.
I like homework.
Why do you like homework?
It helps in revision, and and mostly some questions of homework come in exams. So homework is the best way of revising when you are out of school.
Okay. So Elijah, do you love homework? Do you always do your homework in time?
Yeah. But sometimes when I get difficulties, I can tell my mom to help me. And sometimes I ask my brothers.
Okay. Does your mom help you?
Yes.
Okay. Say hi to your mom.
Hi, Mommy.
Okay. There we go. Thank you, Elijah. You can keep swinging. You can. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're going to be taller than me, you girl.
Yeah, I know. I'm tall.
What's your name?
Raha Shesta.
Raha, do you love homework?
No.
No. Oh, thank you. Yeah. High five. Why don't you love homework?
Because it's kind of okay. Like when we be at school, from morning to 4:40 p.m. We are learning, but then in the evening, you go back home on tension and you be doing homework and you don't get time to play. And then for me, I'm in P6, and then on Saturday I come to school. Then on Sunday, all I do is prepare for Monday coming to school. So I don't like homework.
You don't like homework? It's like it takes up all your time to play, so your time to watch TV.
Yeah.
It's like your whole life is school.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. What did you say your name is?
Raha Shesta.
Raha, we're not going to start. You're not going to say hi to Mommy because now Mommy knows you don't like homework.
She won't do anything.
She won't do anything. But does she help you with your homework?
No? I know my homework.
You know your homework. Okay, Carly. Well, I think you can go back. We'll talk later. I like you because you don't like homework. So you see, Shifra, she tells you she's studying, and every single evening she has to go and get back into homework as well. It's you understand where she's coming from.
Yeah, I do understand, but again, the competition these days is not. These days, it is not the way it used to be when for us we were in school. You can bear me a witness. You have also seen kids with their homework. Does it look like the one you used to have? No. Even the way we frame the questions, the way we ask them, it is really not all that kind of playing with work. So they have to have work, and it should be much, but really, we the teachers also, we have to consider them by setting the numbers that we see that they can really do within the available time.
Okay, thank you very much. If you've just joined us, morning at NTV today, where TechNote discussion is at Silver Spoon. Shifra Ainem Babazi is a teacher here at Silver Spoon, and we're having the discussion on homework. It's a discussion that has been ongoing for a very, very long time. And my fellow scout here, good morning, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
What's your name?
Okecha Shema Victor.
Okecha Shema Victor.
Yes.
Victor, how are you?
I'm fine.
You love school?
Yes.
You love homework?
Yeah.
What did you have to think about it? What do you love about homework?
It helps us revise. Sometimes we can even learn what we are. Sometimes even it can help us remember what we have even sometimes we can find new things which can help us in our future time, in learning. For example, P7, P6, things that we have forgotten, we can remember it through homework.
Through homework. What class are you?
Primary 4.
Primary 4. And you're already thinking of P7?
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't feel that homework takes away your time to play, to watch TV, those things?
Actually, those things somehow distract some children.
They distract you?
Yeah, they can distract. And even instead of this thinking of your future, you can even forget.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Victor. We hope you don't forget in P4, okay? Because we need you to... you look like you're a timekeeper. You have a watch. But you, Victor, you're a very serious student. Anyway, we're going to go back to studio briefly. And then when we get back, I still have Louise here. We're going to talk to Louise as well. Louise, you love homework?
Yes, I do.
Louise loves homework. We're going to find out why she loves homework. Today, our TechNote discussion is on homework. Is it still relevant? Is it used? Of what importance is homework to a child that has been studying? You drop them off at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., pick them up at 6 p.m., 5 p.m., and then they go home and they have to get into homework. Is it that important? That's a discussion we're having on TechNote today. We're going to go back to studio briefly, and then we'll be back to talk to Louise and then wrap up this discussion on TechNote. Morning at NTV continues. My name is David Rukasi. Good morning.
Thank you so much, David Rukasi. I hope you didn't get Raha into trouble. She said that she doesn't love homework, and that was just in front of her teacher right there. But I hope she doesn't get into trouble. So in studios, we're going to be having an expert conversation still on the same, and we're joined by Mr. Ben Chirere. He is an education consultant right here in the country. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Homework or not?
Yes, both 50-50. I think the teacher has built so much on the importance of homework, which is actually good because, of course, as a teacher, it has to give us the advantage of homework, of course, for revision and things like passing, academic-oriented systems is why we are pushed that far. But if I would dwell so much on the other aspect of the negativity, indeed, homework has been misused. First of all, it is a nice idea to have homework, but the extent to which the teachers have taken it is actually to the extreme that is pushing the learners to the wall.
What should be the limit?
I think the limit should be, I would describe it to be project-based, and that's what would actually explain the limit of homework. In my own view, the ideal would have been that homework becomes a project-oriented that actually links the home to the school setting. The traditional way of having homework where you actually have this homework in who are the name of Jesus, 3+4, the abacus, and those kind of things, they make the school home become an extension of school. and yet home should be home and school should be school. So in that way, homework would have been project oriented, in the sense that, for example, if you are having a number in mathematics and it's around maybe shopping, why don't you go with this child to a shop and do the shopping together? And then you hand over to the shopkeeper the 50,000 shillings, and then you do your purchases, a bowl of soap, you are recording, and then a kilo of sugar, you are recording. By the end of the day, you know how much you have spent in the balance, and then that's the guidance I would expect. And that would be more purposeful than actually the other ordinary homework, the traditional one that is actually making the children slaves of academic work, and they are detached from actually the home. So I would think the best would have been a homework informed projects, and we divorce away from the traditional homework. Otherwise, because we are in an academic setting, there's no why all this is taking place.
And also, like we were having a conversation before, you were saying that the system of homework right now promotes cramming and not learning. So when we have project-based, at least like you said, the example you gave, going to the supermarket with your children, them understanding that this is the list that we have to buy, this is the money that I've handed over to the cashier, then we have to, they get to learn how to, subtraction and addition, subtraction and addition, handling money, so to speak. So how can teachers go about, maybe skewing this homework to something that is project-based, and maybe it's something that even them as teachers were not taught in school? So what is the starting point for them?
The biggest challenge is that the teachers are using a system that they are not responsible for. They are already having a curriculum, and because they are academic oriented, they have a syllabus to cover, so they end up giving this traditional homework like in mathematics, in English, and they don't do so much in terms of project. I think I would suggest that if teachers agree with the school administration and understand that academic is not what makes a learner. There is something more than mathematics that we need. There is something more than SST or English that we need. It would actually give them a starting point to appreciate that project works better. But because of the academic, they have to be evaluated from how much their children have performed. They are aware that they are having exams, mid-term exams, they are having end-of-term exams, they are having so much. Like you had one learner confess that homework gives them the ability to revise, and most of the numbers in homework are the numbers in examination. So for a teacher to give a nice accountability, for purpose of accountability, you must make sure you pump your children that far that at least by the end of the examination you are evaluated over how much children have performed, because academic becomes academic.
Do you think that the starting point should be, the change in the structure and how these teachers are also evaluated? Because most will say that even me as a teacher, at the end of the year or at the end of the school term, I'm evaluated on how my, students perform. So I have that pressure to ensure that I give them homework that will make them cram and make them pass in examinations. Do you think that the amazing starting point would be also changing how the teachers on this other end are evaluated, so to speak?
So that means we are again pushed back to policy, because some of these things is a translation of policy frameworks. Of course, the setting of the curriculum itself makes us do the way we do it. So changing it at school level may not be the answer, but beginning from systems.
Right.
If we change the system from the academic oriented, so that we have kind of coursework that flows up to primary level, because coursework is actually in college and universities, where you are assessed by 40%, 60% examination, 40% coursework. So if these projects would be account to your performance by the end of the course, I think they would appreciate.
Okay.
But because the coursework is actually in colleges and universities, there is no coursework element in primary schools, you assessed 100%, that continuous assessment would have been the best. So that if at least maybe your coursework or assessment that is from the homeworks, the assignments you give to do independently, the projects, if to account for reasonably something like 40% of your total mark by the end of the course,
or something lower,
then at least it would be a motivation for parents to get involved on that kind of thing. But because everything is academic, we want the certificate, we want that's why teachers are pushed to the wall to make sure that at least by the end of the day learners are given thousands of homework of questions. You can take an example, even the setup of the questions sometimes can chase away the parents' participation.
Right.
Teachers may set a number which is complicated, you have never heard of it, you search the internet, it's not there. Somebody may even ask you questions which are very fun, and for example in SST, somebody may ask you a question like, who was the owner of the cock that crowed when Peter denied Jesus? Now, how will you know the owner of the cock? So you call Reverend, you call, nobody is there, because the numbers are complicated and people are setting them for the sake of occupying learners.
Right.
Because they claim they pray too much, and yet play is part of growth.
Right.
So those are some of the issues.
Let's talk about parents' involvement in doing homework. I am guilty. There's a time the teacher to my children wrote a note and told me, don't do so much for them. Let them do it themselves and let us see maybe where, they didn't understand. So how far should parents teach help their children in doing their homework? What's the limit for them?
Yeah, I think I would advise that for purposes of homework, it would be better if you would give them numbers. First of all, there must be contact hours, because ideally there are 8 hours of contact at school level, from 8:30 to 4:30, 8 hours. So if you could make an extension and you reasonably give a limit in terms of time, and some giving 5 numbers, each number will take maybe something like 5 minutes, and you allocate even time. Say number 1, who was this and this, or the abacus, 3 minutes,
right,
or 5 minutes. By the end of the day, you know how much more contact hours you have given in addition.
Okay.
And so you can say maybe the homework will take 30 minutes. But this thing of giving very many numbers and you occupy a learner for purpose of occupation, I think is wrong, because you cheat this learner from the mother's love, has a number of things to do as a person and grow, play freely, do work without necessary instruction and supervision. I think it helps the child to grow.
All right. And we're having a view actually on social media. Anthony, you're saying that seriously speaking, homework is so much stress to our kids. I have a sister in P5, but every day she comes with 2 homeworks. All right. We also have Olivia. She's saying that I really hate homework. I don't like it when my kids come back home with homework. Zaha Khan on the other end, he's saying that homework is very important. And then the other person we're having, Anthony, you're saying that at times homework, makes parents become so stressed as well, because he's saying that in our curriculum as parents, we were taught how to cram, so we never learned. We were just cramming for the examination. So when your child brings you homework, you don't know what to do. Yeah. So it's interesting. Thank you so much for coming in studios. What are your last remarks on this one? Of course, you've already agreed that homework needs to be project-based and not theoretical based. So what are your last remarks before we link up?
I think my last remark is solving the problem at classroom level, at operational level wouldn't do much for the country. I think it requires a policy review, and then we understand how best some of these things can be handled. Otherwise, we left it at school level for the teachers and administration to agree on how to handle. We wouldn't get the best result, and therefore I'm suggesting that we handle this at policy level, and we make it as a policy that homework should be project-based. Then it becomes part of the curriculum, and then I think we can begin from there. Thank you so much, Ben Chirere, education consultant right here in the country. Let me link you back to David Rukasi. He still has some students who have different views with regards to homework. David.
Well, Mala, good morning. And yes, very interesting discussion. When it comes to homework, it affects 3 parties. It affects the parents, it affects the pupils, the students, and it affects the teachers as well, in a way. And yes, I managed to get another friend of mine who doesn't like homework. How are you?
I'm fine.
What's your name?
Rima Namubiru.
Rima, you told me you don't like homework.
Yes.
Why don't you like homework?
I don't like homework because your parents might pick you early, and then they stop on many ways that you end up reaching home at 7. When you end up reaching home at 7, you still have homework to do, and your intention to finish it. And then when you start dozing, you'll finish the homework, and when you go to sleep in the morning, you'll end up failing it all because you did homework when you were sleepy.
Yeah, so you were already tired. You've been going through that day. You're tired. They've given you homework. Your parents pick you late, and then you get home late, and it's too much for you.
Yes.
So here is the bit. Advise your teachers about homework. What would you want them to do? Scrap homework?
I'd want them to stop homework and instead maybe give a little activity in the evening to keep the children busy.
What activity would you want?
Like maybe write a little bit of work on the chalkboard.
Oh. So that when you go home, there is no homework, just playing and watching TV?
Yes.
You like watching TV. What's your favorite cartoon?
Teen Titans.
Teen Titans. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to talk to just one person here that loves homework. Good morning, what's your name?
Nyende Louise.
Nyende Louise, what class are you?
P7.
You love homework?
Yes.
Why?
I love it because it helps me to revise. Because personally, I don't like opening books and reading. It just bores me. I can even start dozing. But when I start doing homework, I can like revise at the same time, do my work and finish it. Because I don't like being idle. I have little stuff to do at home because we are few people at home because the housework is distributed to people and me, I get nothing to do. So all I have to do is do homework.
Okay, so you'd want to help out in the house as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so so you love homework but you feel maybe they should scrap it? Do you agree?
Yes, they should. Because I get tired. They give P7s a lot of work, and if they decide to give 10 numbers, they have to put A, B, C, and sometimes teachers set what you have not learned, then you have to research about it. You're so tired, then you end up failing.
Okay. Thank you very much, Louise. Thank you very much, Ainembabazi. And these two don't like homework at all. I'll remember you guys. Our discussion today on Take Note is at Silver Spoons Primary School, and we've been having that discussion on homework with the pupils here. My scout, peace out to you, man. Thank you very much for your opinion. And the discussion is very interesting. The kids are also divided as well. Some love homework but want it scrapped. Those that don't love homework want it scrapped as well. The teachers say it's very, very important for the kids to have homework because it helps them keep active. And remember, they have beginning of term. They have, they need to keep reading so that they can keep their mind active. That's the discussion we have today on Take Note. Right about now, let me hand you back over to studio with Mala so that we can keep on this discussion. Remember, it is on our social media platforms. That is Facebook and Twitter. The hashtag is morning@NTV. My name is David Rukasi. Mala, over to you. Good morning.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you so much, David. I mean, what I've loved about those kids is that they're very confident. So, hey, congratulations to the teachers there. So, all right, let's get into the local headlines before we wrap this up. The Supreme Court is today expected to deliver a judgment in the age limit bill contesting the constitutional amendments which lifted the cap limit from actually the minimum and the maximum age limits. The appeal arose from a majority constitutional court verdict which upheld constitutional amendments regarding the lifting of the cap from the minimum and maximum presidential age limit. Now, the 7 justices led by Chief Justice Watts Katurebe is to rule on whether the